Hey guys, welcome back to my solo fighter illusionist playthrough. We're going to be going through Brynnlaw and Spellhold next.
I hope this is worth it.
So we're going to be on the linear path for quite a while, going through the Underdark as well.
So, you have done well, and for that I am grateful. We had a deal, and I am certain you are eager to see it fulfilled. I have heard it called a... Once on the island, you will be on your own. Excellent. The ship awaits. Good luck to you. I hope we all find what we are looking for. This shall be your...
Never a fear nor worry should cross your thoughts this eve, my lord. I've travelled to see it a good many times, and I foresee no troubles.
Aaron Lynn.
We have arrived, and in good time, I might add. Congrats.
It's done.
I fear I cannot... My apologies, as I...
Brynnlaw and the next few areas, like Spellhold, the Underdark, tend to be fairly linear. For example, there's only really one side quest in Brynnlaw. I'm going to do it anyway, but it's a fairly short area anyway before we head to Spellhold.
Yes? Yes?
Plant blade in your inner. Prepare to be eviscerated, fool.
You're not mercenaries, are you? I ate those money-grubbing scum.
If it must be done.
I'm a fine-looking strumpet, ain't I?
It's probably
In the name of
best
the
left
council,
to me.
I am here to keep order. Scream for mercy.
You'll notice I pick up both the Warstone in order to get to Spellhold, although we'll be taking a different route, and the Book of Infinite Spells, which has a chance to give you either, well, I suppose the best spells are either Spell Turning or True Sight. Ideally I would want True Sight, although I don't actually set the book right now, just to free up a level 6 spell slot, honestly.
Let's do it.
Although Spell Turning isn't bad either. But I do kind of have Spell Trap, although I have been pretty... I haven't used it very much, honestly, when I should have. Mainly because it gets you spell levels back if enemies hit you with spells as well at the same time. So it's not even the fact that it absorbs the spells, it also gives you spells back.
Hey, sexy. Do you want to take a look at me, Diddy?
While I'm going through this quest here, I'm going to talk a little bit about how multi-class progression is working. So, up to this point, really I only have access to level 7 spells, and that's the fact that I'm dividing experience between fighter and mage. So a dual class, for example, would likely get, if they dual at level 13 fighter to a mage, they'll get level 9 spells at 4.25 million experience, because that's when they'll hit level 18 mage. So for the multi-class, however, they're dividing all their experience, so they need to get to 3 million experience as a mage. So because they're dividing their experience evenly, they need to get to 6 million experience total before they can get level 9 spells. So the multi-class progression is a lot slower. At the same time, you are continuing to level as a fighter, so you'll get all the fighter high level abilities starting at 3 million XP. So it is kind of a trade-off in that regard, because you can get stuff like critical strike as a multi-class when you can't as a dual class, and you can also be a gnome, which I prefer, because you give up necromancy spells in order to get a really great saving throw bonus, and you also get +1 spells for each spell level. Now, at max level, the multi-class will have less level 6, 7, 8 and 9 level spells compared to the dual class. However, they will actually have more level 1 to 5 spells because they are a specialist mage, and they will get 1 more spell for each spell level that they know. So it is a bit of a trade-off, because level 9 spells, for example, are very powerful, but at the same time, lower level spells like Stone Skin and Mirror Image are also very useful. So I would say the multi-class is more on the fighter side instead of being front-loading their mage progression like a dual class might. They will also have better Thaco as a multi-class because they will be continuing to level as fighter. It is worth noting that you will get more experience if you allow Desheric to take you into Spellhold, but you do need a higher charisma. So that's why I cast Friends before talking to him. If you fail to convince him, I think you do need to use the Wordstone that you get from Perth in order to get in.
Your chattering's starting to wear on me nerves.
Hey, not a concern.
Who is that? Keep back. Keep back!
I was a bit confused when I got to Spellhold this way before because I just sat around talking to people here. But you actually need to rest before Irenicus will appear. And I think you might need to speak to a few of them before it will let you rest. Or maybe it's just based on the time limit, I'm not sure.
Hello, I'm Dealey today. Tomorrow I'll be something else. Who are you today?
I see you have made... Do not look so... Oh, but it is fortunate you arrived when you did. I am eager to resume my experiments and was growing tired of waiting. Well, I fear a bit of... Don't worry. You won't have to think about any of this or that. Your life ends today.
This is the point where this demon will get you to reduce one of your stats: dexterity, wisdom, intelligence, or constitution. I pick wisdom just because I don't have 18 wisdom anyway, and I would need to take a potion of insight if I do want to use the wish spells. But since I'm probably not going to do that very much, wisdom is fairly worthless to me.
To go and lead the beast here. It is now. It is in my sight. I will add my will to yours. He has shown me how to make it vulnerable.
I am your instinct.
Something is wrong. No, not again. Not...
Well, you are a strong one. I have drained you. No, the curse Odin of Kabiju.
And so your life does come to an end. A pity. You have proven resilient beyond all expectation. It is appealing.
Are you all right? I was so scared. You came all this way to get me, and we were almost...
What is it?
I put another point into Warhammers here because I'm probably going to use Cromfair, at least a little bit. I don't know if it's going to be one of my main weapons, but I do kind of want to play around with it because I've never actually used it before. and I also take an extra level 6 spell. So we can't take any of the high level abilities for level 9 spells for mage yet, but we can take the extra spells for now. And we're going to get the best item in the game pretty much, which is the Bag of Holding. Finally, after all this time, we don't really have inventory management issues now. This is the first puzzle room we're in Spellhold. There's quite a few items you got to put in these bowls of the statues, so I'm going to go through them fairly quickly, but if you just see where I place each one, then I do get it correct the first time. You're going to see me use a lot of the Wand of Cloudkill now, mainly because 1, I can stand in it with the Ring of Gax, and it does good damage, and 2 is the fact that it wipes out weak enemies because of their hit dice. So it's definitely one of the better wands for us to use, because we don't have access to Death Spell at all because it is a Necromancy spell. That spell is quite useful for doing the same thing, but Cloudkill can also do damage to even enemies that resist it. So keep that in mind. It's very good for interrupting mages as well if they can get hit by it, because it is an area of effect spell. So I'm going to go through this next puzzle room very quickly. If you answer all the questions correctly, you will get a Ring of Regeneration, which is honestly not that useful to us because we already do have the Ring of Gax, but you may as well do this. We pick up the Doom Plate from the genie here. I think you need to have the Sapphire from the first puzzle room in order for him to just give it to you. I think if you don't have it, he'll summon a Pit Fiend or something to attack you, and then you can get it after you kill it. So I decided to take out these enemies here. Unfortunately, the Yuan-Ti are not weak enough to be killed by Cloudkill outright, but just the damage obviously helps. There's a crushing trap to the south of here that will kill you instantly, so I end up just going back where I came in order to get to the next level of the dungeon. The next enemy is a Beholder, and honestly, I probably didn't even need to get the Shield of Baldur on. I'm realizing this now. The reason why is I'm eventually going to be immune to their cause serious wounds spell when I get the Cloak of Mirroring. And also, I don't think any of their spells can actually hit me because my saves are too low. But stuff like Elder Orbs, I believe, have the Imprisonment spell, so obviously that would be a problem. But most Beholders are actually not really going to be that difficult for me. It was worth buying the Shield of Baldur on anyway. I may need to bring it out in terms of like stuff like Elder Orbs. I'm not sure yet. In this next room, there's going to be a Lich and quite a few Greater Mummies and Skeleton Warriors that are pretty difficult, honestly. I decided to try and use the improved Mace of Disruption now, but I'm trying to do this without Stone Skin, so this is a bit of poor play on my part, really, because I get hit several times. Now, the Mace does work very well. As you can see, it instantly killed that enemy, but against these enemies, I still needed to have some defensive spells up because I'm just taking unnecessary damage, really. But yeah, the improved Mace of Disruption is actually really good, even though I'm not proficient in it at all. I actually end up killing the Lich in one attack, which is pretty funny. He just fails his save immediately. Admittedly, I could have hit it with the Staff of the Magi to dispel it and then followed up with the Flail of the Ages. But it does have its uses, I think. One thing that I forgot about is actually to pick up the wooden stake back in the Kobold area, so I end up having to do a bit of backtracking to get that.
Your blood is rather inviting.
So that's pretty much it for the first part of Spellhold. Next time we're obviously going to be finishing it up before heading to the Sahuagin City. So I hope you guys enjoyed.
Blood. Yeah, I'll see to it.